Let us now take a look at another area of privatization, which is evaluation. In education, nothing escapes evaluation. Everything needs to be evaluated. And so, how are private school programs being evaluated? A comprehensive framework for evaluation is presented here in the forthcoming slides, and they are based on 4 major criteria, allowing for many aspects of the privatization policy to be understood and assessed. Now, these 2 terms are critical. You need to understand the policy before you can actually go and assess the policy, because if you have the wrong understanding, you will not get the right assessment. So making sure that the private school owners understand what the privatization policy is and how they will be assessed. Freedom to choose. This criterion refers to the rights of families to choose schools for their children that are premised on their values, educational philosophies, religious teachings, and political outlooks. This is a human right. As parents, we should have the opportunity to choose the school for our children instead of having to send our children to a particular school or a particular type of school even. So the families, the parents should have that primary basic right. And their decision to send their children to a particular school depends on their values. Their values meaning the values of the parents. What do parents value? What kind of values do they want to pass on to their own children? Educational philosophies. There are a variety of educational philosophies, and different institutes follow different philosophies. What educational philosophy do we appreciate, do we follow, and we want for our students? Religious teachings is critical, especially in the eastern part of the world. Religion still plays an important role in families, in society, in communities, in the nation. And so what religious teachings do we want our children to gain? And then, of course, political outlooks. What are the political outlooks, the freedom of choice, and all that kind of stuff that we want our students to learn? Democracy, bureaucracy, dictatorship, and so on and so forth. So different schools offer different levels and different ways in which education is offered, and parents should have the choice to choose. Advocates argue in favor of increasing opportunities for parents to choose their children's education for 2 reasons. People want the parents to have the choice, and more people are increasing in this realm. There are more families now that claim, I should be able to choose a school for my child. Even if it is far from home, transporting the child there every day, bringing the child back and all that is our responsibility. But we should have the choice of the school. And there are 2 reasons for that. First, and clearly a priority, parents have a fundamental right to decide what is in the best interest for their children. They are my children, they are our children, and so we should have the basic primary right to decide what is good for them. Other people may advise, may tell us, may counsel us, but whether we listen to them, whether we do as they say, or whether we go our way, that's up to us. The parents should have the final word. Parents are likely to have greater incentives to sustain and improve their children's welfare than would a government agent or a policymaker or anyone like that. So if we want the parents to exercise this right, because for a parent, the most important thing is their child or their children. Nothing is more important than that. Parents have a better idea of the educational needs of their children and of which learning styles they prefer. Education is getting more and more complicated and complex as more and more research comes out and we begin to implement the findings of those research in our classrooms. So the challenges will be there, and as parents, we need to meet those challenges for our students. Although some parents may be derelict in their obligations to their children, this is likely to be the exception rather than the norm. Where there are varied preferences among students, freedom of choice becomes especially important. Very few parents would say, I don't care where my child goes. I'm serious, not very many parents would agree to that. Very many parents are concerned about where their children go, who they go with, who they interact with, and so on, who their friends are and all that. And that is important, especially today in the 21st century. And so when preferences are open and there are very many preferences available, it is absolutely important for parents to be able to make the right choice.